If you are building a traditional system of hi-fi components, you won't get very far without a stereo amplifier. You can have all the sources, CD player, turntable, music streamer, and as fancy a pair of passive loudspeakers as you can get your hands on, but without a stereo amp, you simply won't get a sound, period. Unless you are ticking off stereo amplification by way of active speakers, which have amplifiers in them, or a pre-power pairing, where preamp and power amp duties are housed in separate boxes. You'll want the simple, convenient, and space-efficient option of a one-box integrated amplifier. But not just any one. Which one you pick will greatly impact your system's sonic quality and character. So ideally, you want a class-leading performer which offers the connections your system needs. Speaking of which, our expert in-house reviews team has chosen 8 across several form factors, feature offerings, prices. Our testing process is uniquely comprehensive. Every amplifier under scrutiny is compared to the class leader at its price point in our dedicated listening rooms. We pride ourselves on reviewing every corner of the stereo amplifier market too, often being one of the, if not the, first hi-fi publications to get their hands and ears on newly announced models. We have listed the best stereo amplifiers 2024, and their key features. You need to consider this to help you choose the best one for you. For more information on the product, as always, I've included a link in the description box down below, which are updated with the best prices on each product. Like the video, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Be sure to stay tuned till the end so you don't miss anything. Now let's get started. Number 5. Rega Ethos. It's fair to say that we're big fans of Rega's integrated amplifiers. Between the IO, Brio, LXR, and Illicit R, the company has picked up more 5-star verdicts and what hi-fi awards from us than we care to remember. But Rega's products are rarely revolutionary, so it comes as no surprise to find that the Ethos leans heavily on the electronic principles already established in the existing lineup. Think of this integrated as an Illicit R turned up to 11 and you're close to the mark. The engineers haven't just posted in the design though. There's a lot of fresh work under that brooding exterior. The Ethos's power amplifier section uses 2 complementary pairs of Sanken-Darlington output transistors, giving a solid power output of 125 W per channel into 8 ohms. The power amp circuit is designed to offer the benefits of Class A operation without the usual drawbacks in terms of heat and power consumption. The preamp section prioritizes signal integrity and consistent channel balance and features higher-grade parts than used in the company's other, cheaper products. The Ethos falls short of most obvious rivals in terms of its features, but if you're happy with line-level analog connectivity, there's more than enough here. It has 5 line-level inputs, a preamp out, a direct input into the power amp section that bypasses the volume control, and that rare thing, a tape loop. Let's not forget about the front panel-mounted 6.3-meter headphone output either. Those looking for digital inputs, wireless in the form of Bluetooth connectivity, or even a phono stage will need to look elsewhere or add extra boxes. Given Rega's record player heritage, some may find the lack of a phono stage surprising. However, the company feels that including a phono input would compromise the rest of the design, and such sensitive circuits are better served by being outboard at this level. It's a fair argument. Number 4. Naim Nait XS3. Naim's original Nait XS was introduced in 2008. It was designed as a step-up from the basic Nait integrated amp and offered improved sound and greater grunt from a similarly slimline package. A decade on it was revised for a second time by Naim's engineers, and the result is the XS3 we have on test here. Looks familiar, doesn't it? That revision turns out to be light, with the previously line-level amplifier gaining a moving magnet phono stage and undergoing a tweak in the power amp circuitry to improve its responsiveness. It's somewhat of a surprise to find that digital inputs and Bluetooth aren't on the menu. Naim would argue that an outboard DAC would be a better solution, and at least that way the analog performance doesn't suffer, and the price doesn't change too much. The new phono circuit is made up of 3 stages: a gain stage, passive equalization, and final gain and active equalization. The idea is to minimize noise while delivering plenty of dynamic headroom. The equalization curve chosen is custom, treading the path between traditional RIAA and the IEC alternative. The aim is to deliver a good bass performance combined with enough low-end roll-off to avoid rumble spoiling the sound. Elsewhere, everything else remains unchanged. There is still the choice of stereo RCA or Naim's preferred DIN sockets for the 4-line level inputs, and the option to split the pre and power sections should you want to improve performance by slotting in something more sophisticated for either part. The supplied system remote is basic but easy to use. Number 3. Arcam A5. Amplification is at the very core of what Arcam has always done. The company's first product, the hugely successful A60 integrated amplifier, introduced in 1976, laid the foundations for the brand to grow into the diverse company it is today. It is also fair to say that in recent decades, the company's focus seemed to be concentrated on the home cinema side of things, where it has become known for producing some of the most musical premium AV amplifiers on the market. Make no mistake, there have been some fine stereo products in that time. The award-winning A19 integrated amplifier, the compact Arphono, and numerous generations of RDAC come to mind. But Arcam's once dominant presence in the affordable stereo component market had definitely waned, leaving the likes of Cambridge Audio, Marantz, and Rega to take bigger pieces of the pie. Things may be about to change with the introduction of the brand new radio range of products. This consists of 3 stereo amplifiers, the A5 on test here, A15, 1099, 999, and range-topping Class G A25, 1499, 1499, the CD5 player, 699, 699, and ST5 music streamer, 7999, 799. We can't think of a better place to start than the entry-level A5 amplifier. It is the most affordable amplifier in the range, yet perfectly encapsulates what the company is trying to do. There is the way it looks for starters. To our eyes, this is a fresh and modern-looking product. We like its clean and unfussy exterior, which looks simple yet elegant. The subtle yellow highlights around the large control dials, vents, and sides may not come across with much impact in the photos, but in the metal, they give the amplifier a sleek appearance that sets it apart from price rivals. Number 2. Marantz PM6007. The path to self-improvement is never-ending. No matter how successful or saintly we are, there is always a way to better ourselves. The same also applies to hi-fi. Regardless of how good a piece of kit is and how many accolades it has won, there's always room for improvement. Marantz is many steps along the journey towards making the best budget stereo amplifier possible, most recently with this new PM6007, which sets out to improve upon the 2018 launched Marantz PM6006 UK edition. That predecessor was once the What Hi-Fi award winner in the same price bracket, and the new PM6007 has inevitably taken over that mantle and wins once again in 2023. In our review of the PM6006 UK edition, we said our only wish was that its vast connectivity included Bluetooth and a USB input, but that's not where Marantz has sought to improve its 6000 series line. Instead, the enhancements are centered around the performance. And who can argue with that? Marantz has implemented a new DAC into the PM6007, with the AKM AK4490 replacing the Cirrus Logic CS4398 found in its predecessor. It is complemented by 2 digital filters, a slow roll-off and sharp roll-off, that users can choose between when playing from a source connected to either of its 2 optical or single coaxial inputs. Such versatility has trickled down from the brand's more premium digital processors, such as those built into the SA10, SA12SE, and SA-KI Ruby. In an effort to improve performance across the analog inputs, of which there are 4 line level plus a phono, new components in the power amp and phono stages have been swapped in. The latter has also benefited from upgraded circuitry, similar to that found in the PM7000N's phono stage, to achieve a higher signal-to-noise ratio. And while the entry-level amplifier still doesn't have a USB input or Bluetooth, Marantz has added a subwoofer output to accommodate those who want to add extra thwack to their stereo setup. Number 1. Arcam A15. Ask us to name our favorite stereo integrated amplifiers of recent years, and you won't find us mentioning any Arcams. Over much of the last decade, we've failed to be convinced by the company's designs, despite them being invariably well-made and generously specified. We have generally found their sound overly safe, which is fine if you want an undemanding and comfortable listen, but not ideal if, like us, you want to be taken on an emotional joyride with the appropriate music, of course. So it was with more than a bit of trepidation that we approached the company's new Radius series of products. This consists of 3 stereo amplifiers. The A15 on test here, the entry-level A5, 749, 699, and range-topping Class G A25, $1499, $1499, the CD5 player, $699, $699, and ST5 music streamer, $79, $799. We have tested the A5 with great results and wondered whether the step-up A15 could really offer any more. In the event, we needn't have worried, as this middle-rung amplifier does more than offer a bit more power. Let's put numbers on that. The entry-level A5 outputs a claimed 50 watts per channel into 8 ohms, while the A15 takes that to 80 watts into the same load. Elsewhere, both amplifiers are identically specified, as far as features are concerned. Arcom has been generous with the spec sheet and has tried to cover all bases. We doubt that this amplifier will ever get caught short in most setups given it has 3 line-level inputs, a pair of coax digital and a single optical. The popular ESS ES9018 DAC chip is at the heart of the internal DAC module. It would have been nice to have a USB option, but the lack of it isn't a deal-breaker for us. There is a preamp output for those who want to upgrade by adding an outboard power amplifier and a 3.5 mm headphone output on the front panel.